Hi, this video is about common AI implementation myths that are holding your company back. My name is David Hood and I'm CEO of 42 Robots AI, and too many people, too many organizations are living in a fantasy world like this image of Freya, where everything with regards to how to actually get value out of AI and large language models is based upon extremely flimsy understanding and logic and reasoning and data. I'll put some links to some relevant videos in here that'll expand on several of these concepts. So let's get right into myth number one. LLM-centric solutions are the way to go. This is probably the most pervasive one and the most harmful one. I believe this is the main reason why A, a lot of companies are having trouble with AI agents, and B, a lot of enterprise organizations have not actually gotten value out of AI in terms of either just not implementing it, or also they've implemented it and it didn't really do much for them. And the problem with this is that it is a backwards solution architecture. They put the LLM at the center, and then it uses different things around it, like tools or RAG or fine-tuning or prompt engineering to try to make that LLM solve the problems, where the model is a solution and the solution is the model. This is a backwards way to go about doing things. It creates a where you're trying to shove as much as possible into the LLM, and you end up with whack-a-mole solutions because you cannot solve all things with one LLM. It just doesn't make sense. No matter how good the LLM is, no matter where the LLM technology, at least in its current form, goes and how much they improve it, which basically they've only improved it through training data. They haven't actually improved the core architecture inside the solution. It's basically the same, almost the same 500 lines of code that it was since it came out in 2017. And so the correct way to do this is to flip it around to where you basically build software, and at key places within the software, you solve problems that couldn't be solved before or that couldn't reasonably be solved with LLMs, and you do the opposite. You pull as much of the solution out of the LLM as possible. This increases the reliability dramatically, and it enables you to actually solve real-world problems. But it's not fun, it's not interesting, it's not cool to the AI nerds out there and Silicon Valley, and so they tend to have a vested interest in selling LLM-centric solutions. And you'll find this as a theme throughout a lot of what we're going to talk about. I think two of the next three myths are directly related to this. Let me give you a little bit of a metaphor of what this is effectively like, what people are doing. Essentially, what I see in almost all AI solution architecture or a big AI companies, they have a Lamborghini engine, they put it in a shopping cart, and they're trying to make it go faster by tuning the Lamborghini engine. The Lamborghini engine is awesome. It does cool stuff, it's amazing, and it's incredibly valuable, yes. But it is only one part of a greater system to get something to work. You can't just attach a steering wheel directly to the engine. You can't attach the brakes and the seats and everything. You need to put it within a system. And they're tuning the engine, and going, why won't this shopping cart go faster? It's because you need the bigger system. So do not just build around a solution. And you can really see how people talk about this by the way that when they're talking about the solution, sometimes they'll use the word model and sometimes they'll use the word solution. Oftentimes they'll just use the word model as if directly implying that as if the model is the solution. And that's a huge, huge clue. And you see that everywhere. All right, here's another one. I was talking to another nerd the other day, and basically he thinks that OpenAI will solve all or most problems with their GPTX. And I'm going to call this the GPTX fallacy. And there's several reasons why I believe this is a fallacy. In terms of like, so even Sam Altman has kind of come out and said, oh, we're going to crush you if you try to do things that we're going to do on our roadmap. Well, first of all, there's major limitations in LLMs, number one. Number two, there have been serious lack of improvements in how LLMs work. It's already plateaued in its capabilities. We'll see what happens with GPT-5 if it comes out soon. They said it'll come out next year. Rumors, there's all sorts of rumors around there, but it's taken them a couple of years to come out with the next version. But the difference between GPT-3 and GPT-4, it's pretty substantial, but it's not world-changing. I mean, the difference from 2 to 3 was huge, I expect that the difference between 4 and 5 will be less than the difference between 3 and 4, and that's just based upon a lot of things. But just in general in the industry, since GPT-4 has come out, basically a year and a half ago, the models themselves have not really improved that much. Claude 3.5 is a bit better than GPT-4 at some things, and not even everything. And I think GPT-4o is a little bit better, but I don't know if it's actually better in all the ways. I think it's basically on par with what came out in April of 2023. Okay, so the idea that the models are still moving fast and they're still growing really rapidly, and we're going to have AGI and like what? No, don't even come at me with that, bro. So there's other issues here, which is systems issues. So I kind of alluding back to the Lamborghini in a shopping cart, they're trying to shove everything. They're trying to bolt on all of the potential solutions into the engine itself, underneath the hood of the engine, inside the engine, or just like connect it right on there. And that's really not a way to go about doing things. It's very inefficient. I'll give you an example. So we built what I think is a reasonable solution to long-term memory very quickly, but we put it outside of the LLM. And we used the LLMs in actually several different ways to make it work. But it wasn't like it was inside the LLM. And I've heard some other venture capitalists, and I think it's folly, to try to, we want to put the long-term memory inside the LLM. And they've had tons of teams, they're spending a ton of money, and it's probably going to take them years to even get that to work, if it will ever work. But think about the cost benefit there. We did it in less than a week of one coder's time. And again, is it validated with beyond a shadow of a doubt? No, but based upon our tests, it does work really well. And it's more nuanced than what you would think. But at the same time, by not trying to embed the solution inside the LLM and creating more of a system, a software system, we were able to solve the problems much faster. And so if you think about just they spend 100,000 times more money and they still don't have it solved. And so where's the value there, while we could spend that amount of money and solve a ton more issues, thinking about this in a much better way with the system. So also just looking at the time, let's say it takes 2 years for OpenAI to solve this. Who knows how much money they put after it, but how many other problems could have been solved, or how many other use cases and solutions could have been solved if you're building it for yourself? And just in general, I don't think it's really reasonable to think that GPT-X at any level, GPT-20, will be good at all the things, will be the best at all the things. Because in any system, you have trade-offs. No matter what you do, you're going to have trade-offs. There's just no way around that, no matter how powerful the system is. Prove me wrong on that. Maybe there's a point where that is not relevant and there is a model that is good at all the things. I'm very skeptical of that. Again, kind of from a systems standpoint. There's no such thing as a perfect system that does all the things, all the ways. That just doesn't exist. So the idea that, just like, again, Sam Altman has said things like, wait for us to solve it, we'll solve those problems. And it's like, bro, we can't wait. Like, even if you do solve it, let's say they do solve all the problems in 10 years or 20 years or something like that. You're just going to sit there and wait and twiddle your thumbs and just be like, all right, cool, bro, assuming that they can do it, which I am very, very skeptical that they can. And so the idea that, we'll just wait for OpenAI, I don't like that at all, and I think it's a very poor strategy. Also, OpenAI has yet to prove that they can do anything other than build large language models that are effective. They have ChatGPT as a software in and of itself is extremely minimalistic. It does very little. There's a lot of additional features that they should have put in a year or two ago that would make it a lot more useful software. Claude's doing a little bit better on that by adding some additional features on top of the models. But all of their attempts at making actual products and leveraging the LLMs beyond just building them have proven that they cannot do that. At least, maybe that'll change. But so far, they have not proved that. And so to me, if you looking for them to solve your use case with GPT-5, GPT-10, or whatever, I think there's not any good reasoning to back that up. Also, they have a vested interest, and Silicon Valley does, in pushing this narrative. So the idea, we'll just solve it for you, just wait and give us money when the time comes, works really well for them, but it doesn't work for you, I promise. Do not follow this myth. Do not fall into this one. This one's an interesting one because it's kind of true. So LLMs are just regurgitation engines. It's a myth and actually a fact at the same time. So essentially, at its core, the way LLMs work is when you put an input in, it crawls its data for the most relevant parts of the data set and sort of regurgitates that back to you. That's not exactly correct, but it's essentially true. Now, effectively, it's not true. There are emergent properties that have come out of LLMs. Yes, there are really cool use cases that couldn't have been done before that make it not just a regurgitation engine. There are new capabilities that we can do with software and just in general that didn't exist 2 years ago. So in that sense, they're not just regurgitation engines. And I want to make a key distinction here on how they work. That there's kind of this idea, and I'm going to put it in one way, but I don't think it's the best way to put it. I don't know if they've found the right words for it, but can LLMs create new things? And the idea here is, yes, they can create new recipes. No, they can't create new ingredients. So let me give you an example. They can mix together a romantic basketball vampire fantasy that has never been made before. Cool. But are they going to create a new law of physics that has completely new ideas in it? So far, they have not shown that. Let me give you another example. They have not improved themselves. They're not anywhere near that. We haven't even been able to improve themselves. But also, there's really not how to leverage LLMs and how to be better at LLMs in their training data set. So the idea that they're very soon going to be, oh no, they're going to be so smart, they're going to be able to improve themselves, there's no indication of that yet so far. So, but at the same time, again, they can remix current ingredients that they have into new recipes. And that is new, but it's constrained to a significant degree. And again, there are emergent properties here. So this is kind of right, but mostly effectively wrong. So don't put too much stock into it. Don't make them less than they are. Don't make them more than they are either. Okay, so here's another one, and I shot a recent video about Microsoft Copilot because I hear a lot of companies kind of check that box, that AI box. They got pressure from their board. What are you doing with regards to AI? Oh, we signed up for Copilot, and now we can check that box. No, bro. You're leaving 99% of the solution space for your organization on the table. And if that's all you do, and your competitor thinks about this differently in the ways that I talk about on this channel, you will be left in the dust for sure. Same thing for like ChatGPT for business or enterprise or whatever they call it. By essentially just using the chatbot, you're leaving a lot of the new capabilities on the table, and you're leaving a lot of the use case and solution space on the table. I have several videos in my channel about that, so you can trust me on that, or you can review some of the videos in greater detail. Or you can contact us, and we can give you a free custom AI implementation roadmap, and we can talk about in detail within context of your organization why this doesn't work and what you can do instead without just leaning on simple chatbots. So give us a call or click the link below. And if you like this video, please like it. If you have any comments, please feel free to leave the comments below. I'll try to respond to it, and we'll go from there. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.